Going to be 87 laps to go when they come around. Kurt Busch going for 3 in a row to tie Fred Lorenzen for 3rd on the all-time consecutive win list at Bristol. Darrell won 7 in a row. Cale Yarborough 4 in a row. Fred Lorenzen 3 in a row. Green flag.
Now, of course, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. He's the car right behind Kurt Busch that wants to stay up there. He wants to get that caution where, like Ryan Newman, he can get the pardon to get back on the lead lap, especially after the mistake that he made earlier on that green flag stop.
Newman is the 17th and final car on the lead lap. Michael Waltrip in 4th place. Lapped car of Terry Labonte just ahead.
Michael's done a great job today. He's just stayed out of trouble, quietly worked his way up into the top 5.
And for a team that only has one top 30 finish, 37th in points, I think a good top 5, Steve, would just tickle that group to death.
I think a top 10, Steve.
Yeah, and they're having a good run, guys. Remember, Michael pitted on lap 364, so his tires are a little bit older. Michael's saying the car is just a little bit tight, but they are having a good day.
Just ahead of Michael, Rusty Wallace, who still so far has led the most laps of any driver. Some audio between Rusty and his crew chief. This was during the caution.
Rusty, I tell you, from here on out, we might be ahead of the game just a do 2. You know, there's 90 laps to go. I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, what Larry Carter is basing that off of is what he saw Sterling Marlin prevail with 2 tires earlier. But Rusty just knows this racetrack is getting slick right there. There's not that many cars on lead lap. And actually, Rusty just went by Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale continues to lose positions.
You know, I think he's got it almost looks like he got a soft right front tire. I'm not sure, but something's up with that race car, and I believe it's a tire.
Marlin went by for 2nd and Wallace for 3rd.
And he's fixing to lose 2 or 3 more spots. Michael Waltrip in the 15, Jimmy Johnson with those real fresh tires in the 48, and Dale Jarrett in the 88.
In front, I think. Inside, 1 car.
He agrees with you, Darrell.
Yeah, it's a tire. I'm not sure if it's a right front or not, but it's a tire. And you can see he's really got crank. He's really got a handful there. He's got a tire problem, I think.
And of course, I mean, this is where you feel that real pressure as a driver and a crew chief. You know a green flag stop with 80 laps to go is going to take you out of the equation, but you don't want to stay out there, lose that tire, and hit that wall. So we have 2 people wanting that caution, Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, he's definitely fighting with a problem there. It's more than likely, since he's able to run this long, it could be a left side tire. But he's doing the same thing I'd be doing. I got a tire going down, but I don't know which one it is.
Junior last pitted 50 laps ago. Trying to hold on to a lead lap finish here as Kurt Busch extends his margin over Sterling Marlin and has the lap car of Jeff Gordon between himself and 2nd place.
Yeah, I thought Junebug had about the only car I thought that might be able to challenge the 97, and now he's got problems.
Dick Berggren.
When the caution flag flew a few laps ago, Kurt Busch got on the radio and politely asked Jimmy Fennick, do we pit now? And Fennick politely got back on the radio and said, we're going to take this baby all the way to the end. Since then, they have reminded Busch about tire strategy, tire management, conserve the tires.
And remind him, don't race people that can't beat you. And Jeff Gordon's a lap down. If he gets up there and starts hounding you, let him go.
Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car pulls up behind Michael Waltrip in the 15. This is a battle for 4th. And just remember, Jimmy Johnson has about 20 less laps on his tires. Steve Burns, that could prevail with just a little over 70 laps to go.
It might, Larry Mack, and he said he's got some good strategy. He says, I'm saving my right front tire for the end of the race, but I do have very good forward bite.
And of course, the thing he don't want to have to do is have to fight cars like Michael Waltrip so long that he abuses that right front tire.
And boy, they've really picked up the pace, Larry. I mean, they were running high 17s or mid 17s earlier, and we're right now last lap 16:30.
Yeah, Kurt Busch ran the fastest lap in this race of his car back 10 laps ago at lap 4:15 at a 15:82 around a half-mile racetrack.
Dale Jr. now 2/3 of a lap down, continuing to fade, Matt.
70 laps to the finish. It continues.
There he goes. There he goes.
He spins around.
And Casey Mears gets caught up.
Is out.
With Stanton Barrett.
I believe he's going to stay on the lead lap. He will, because remember, the field is frozen. The field is frozen.
And the leader is instructed, when you see the caution, slow down to pace lap speed.
He brought the caution that he needed, and it worked out just perfect. And Jeff Gordon will get the pardon. He'll be back on the lead lap here with about 60 to 70 laps to go.
Well, you know, you make your own luck. And he just made a whole pot full of it.
Dale Jr. spins to bring out the 8th caution of the day. I remember a race, it was a short track race, I forget where his father heard Richard Childress on the radio saying, Dale, we're about to go a lap down, we need a caution. Dale says, working on it.
Yeah.
And they got one.
Oh, yeah.
See him go off into turn 1 and 2. Thing just comes around with him. Yep. Luckily, he don't hit anything. No one hits him. In fact, almost a big mess back there with Casey Mears in the 41 and Stanton Barrett.
But, you know, he was falling back. I think he was looking for the end of the line so he could get to pit road. And fortunately, there were not that many cars, good cars behind him.
Joey Chitwood would be proud. Who's going to stop? Who's going to not? Who's going to do 2? Who's going to do 4?
And Darrell, I just believe if I'm going to take the time and give up any track position to come to pit road, I'm going to do 4 tires. I'm not going to mess around with 2 tires.
This race last fall here, Matt Kenseth was running 15th or 16th, came in, got him 4 fresh tires, and almost won the race.
Looks like Kevin Harvick in the 29, Jamie McMurray in the 42, Matt Kenseth in the 17. Pretty much all the cars that was about 10th place back, which it makes a good sense.
Wimmer, Mayfield gone, along with Newman, of course, Jr. pitting.
Kenseth keeps good notes, doesn't he?
8th yellow of the day, 67 laps to go. 160,000 fans here, and nobody headed for the exit. You'll see why when we come back. NASCAR on Fox, presented by Quaker State. Nextel Cup Racing on Fox, presented by Quaker State, is brought to you by Sunoco, the new official fuel of NASCAR. Good enough for NASCAR, good enough for your car. Getting set for the restart. Why have none of these fans left Bristol? Remember last August? Look at which 2 cars were involved in that bump and run. Kurt Busch and Sterling Marlin. Look at which 2 cars are 1-2 as they come around for the restart. Kurt Busch and Sterling Marlin. With Rusty Wallace, Jimmy Johnson, Michael Waltrip, green flag. Matt, what was wrong with Dale Jr.?
Well, under the caution before, Mike, he said the car was loose and continued to just get more free. He was just trying to hang on to it. And then you heard him say that he spun the car because it was going to be going down with a tire. They found out the tire was fine. Actually, what was wrong, Mike? There were lugs loose on the left rear, hollowed out the openings where the studs are. They also took the wheel off, just checked everything again, sent him back out. He is good to go.
Well, man, I know what's going on out here on the racetrack right now. Terry Labonte in the 5, Mark Martin in the 6, Johnny Sauter in the 30. They are Kurt Busch's best friends right now because they dealt Sterling Marlin in the 40 car a fit on that restart. In fact, Rusty Wallace in the 2 gets by Sterling for 2nd place. You know, you were talking about that bump and run. All I know is behind Kurt Busch right now there's a man in 2nd place that's on a 3-year losing streak, and a man behind him, Sterling Marlin, that's on a 2-year losing streak. Mighty hungry guys back there.
Sterling has never won a short track cup race.
And both of them have had great days. Rusty's had a good day all day. Great pit stops, good race car.
But Darrell, right now, in just about 3 laps, Kurt Busch has pulled out in front of Rusty Wallace by almost 2 seconds because of those cars that are a lap down, trying to stay up there to get back on the lead lap.
I think the telltale is going to be when we get down to about 30 to go, and if Kurt's tires are going to make it to the finish where he can keep up the pace he's running right now. He's running real hard there. He's running 16 flats, and that's pretty quick right now.
Let's also mention that Matt Kenseth picked up some spots on pit road. Killer Bees did their job. Kenseth restarted 11th. That's where the defending series champion and point leader run right now. Let's take you back to 8th place. Dale Jarrett, Kevin Harvick.
And what has happened right here, Kevin Harvick in the 29, he pitted on that last caution, so he's the first car up there with fresh tires, and I think definitely that Dale Jarrett in 88, probably Ken Schrader in the 49, will fall in the clutches of these fresher tires. But what a great run for Kenny Schrader in that 49 car. This team has struggled so much this year. They got that full sponsorship. They have a solid run going today.
Let's check with Jeannie on Kevin Harvick.
Well, you guys noticed him. Look who's back, the 29 car. Second weekend in a row where this team has struggled early, but they picked it up late. The first time they were in the top 10 all day, just a handful of laps ago. And you want to know why? Massive adjustments. Which ones? Well, the answer is yes. They did everything.
The other car coming is Kenseth with those fresh tires. He's just broken into the top 10.
Well, and Dale Jarrett was a sitting duck. He was the last car to stay out there on the lead lap and not pit. And when you look in your rearview mirror and you see all those other cars peeling off, you go, ruh-roh.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you're up front like that. If you stay out, everybody else comes in. If you come in, everybody else stays out.
5-point margin over his Roush Racing teammate.
That Kurt Busch has been coming little by little, race by race.
50 laps to go as Busch crosses the line in the Food City 500 as Jimmy Johnson chases down Sterling Marlin. The big question, Darrell, is can Rusty Wallace catch Kurt Busch?
The interval is staying about the same, and if I'm knowing Jimmy Finning, he's talking to Kurt. He's giving him those lap times, giving him those intervals so he doesn't run the tires off his race car.
You know, the turning point for Jimmy Johnson, we were just watching him in that 48 car, and it's hard to believe that having a right front tire problem under green could be your turning point. But because he pitted early, got those fresh tires about 30 to 40 laps sooner than everyone, he made up so much ground, and the caution came out perfect after everyone had cycled through green flag stops.
Jimmy Johnson with a continued run of good luck. We're going to take a break and come back, take you all the way to the checkered flag here in Bristol.